Really upsetting news coming out of the club today about Ivan Perisic doing his ACL. Most likely has probably played his last game for Tottenham Hotspur. He's been a great option for us so far this season, coming off the bench, especially in that Sheffield United game. But with the return of Bryan Hill, I think he's on the mend or about to return. James, do you think Bryan Hill can replace the gap that Perisic is going to be leaving?
That's quite a hard question, that, because what I loved about Perisic and to a certain degree Højbjerg coming on is that experience to see out games, or that experience to go that extra thing that we needed at that time. I think in Sheffield United he had an assist, and if you can call it one, an assist before an assist to do that.
Pre-assist, we call it.
Pre-assist, is that what it's called? Very, very important. And when he comes on, all of us were saying in the stadium at that point that this is great, like bring him on. Like, so there's a reason for that. He's got like that old head that we need and that experience that we need. And his crosses are sublime.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to be replaced. But on this flip side of that, I'm very excited for Bryan Hill in Ange Ball. What he can bring in that is going to be something completely different that Perisic doesn't provide, but still can be more, maybe. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know when he's back. It's going to be a few games at least, I'd imagine. Is he actual proper training now? Is he?
I don't know if he's done training on the pitch yet, but he keeps posting pictures on social media, and it seems as though like he's definitely nearly back.
Yeah, well, I think that he'll be definitely a great replacement, but it's not like for like. I think that feeling of, I think what Ange does, what I've seen him do, is he brings on the experience at the right time, whether we need to go for the throttle or we need to see a game out. He brings on the Perisic's and your Højbjergs, and they do a job. And I think it's actually a big loss, to be honest with you. I was gutted at that news. Because also, the other two things is that could be the end. I hope not, touch wood, for top flight for him, because I think that being that age and having that kind of injury is not a great combination. And was he something to do with that young defender who's coming to us at 18? Was there something involved in that deal?
I heard he was going to go to Split, wasn't he, as a return?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's right.
Yeah,
so
I thought it was, but I don't know. We haven't heard anything. I mean, Fabrizio Romano was talking about like the deal was done, and he didn't really mention anything about Perisic. So I'm assuming that deal's done. But
he's not coming.
There were rumors that he was going to go Croatia in January.
He's he's bungled a couple of here we goes already this summer.
Yeah,
I hope it's not another one.
No. It'll be community noted on Twitter soon.
Nothing confirmed. Yeah, we'll see.
But like, I was actually, like you, James, really excited for what Bryan Hill can show in an Ange system. I think he's the exact like kind of character of player that Ange would want. He presses high up the front. He never stops running, and I think he's got quality on the ball as well. But what we're going to lose with Perisic is our best crosser, basically, in the squad by quite some distance as well.
And you play like Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United. I bet he'd play a big part in all these games in the top six because of what he brings in experience as well. So yeah, it's definitely a big loss. But Bryan Hill could definitely bring something else.
Sonny, are you a fan of Bryan Hill? Do you think he can cover what Perisic doesn't bring us, or is not going to bring us?
Yeah, similar to what James said, really. He's a bit of a stereotypical tricky winger, isn't he? I mean, I saw someone's already made a compilation of like his best mazy runs, and I'm like, yeah, in handball, this will look fantastic. And it makes like our winger positions now look quite like they look quite good. I think, you know, with Johnson, Solomon, Kulusevski, Richarlison. I mean, people are saying maybe Richarlison needs to go out on the left wing in an Ange system and put Son through the middle. So it's good, but it's gutting about Perisic because, you know, a couple of months, a month or so ago, I think we would have all been like, oh, you know, he was out the door, wasn't he? But now I'd say he's like Tottenham's Swiss Army knife. He can play all along that left-hand side, very versatile. And that's what Ange likes. Ange likes versatile players. You know, he's a experienced head. He's won a lot in the game. And as I say, yeah, he only signed a 2-year deal, so it might be his last game for Spurs, which is just a shame. And especially when it's one of those like off-the-ball injuries in training, you know it's going to be a bad one. So hopefully speedy recovery. And it's just, you know, and after like the Bentancur news last year, just so many ACL injuries in football at the moment. It's a bit sickening, really, because, you know, and what was it as well? Rico Henry, you know, he could have...
Rico Henry, Jurriën Timber.
It's just devastating for these young players because it could change the way they like play the game in the future to come.
How did he do it? How did he do it? I know it wasn't in the tackle.
Apparently, it's in non-contact training. Non-contact training.
They called it a complex injury, didn't it? So in the statement, so I'm guessing it was something that like it was a bit innocuous
or something. Surely
they're never good, are they?
What, no. Did he fall off his bike or something like Japhet Tanganga? What happened with that one? But Sim, what's your feeling? Do you think Big Bryan Hill can step up?
Yeah, I think he can. Look, I don't think he can. Look, I think what was great about Perisic is what James was saying is when we were winning games and looking to like basically hang on to results, he would come on, calm things down, allow us basically a calm head on the pitch to help us see out games. And obviously when we were chasing results as well, like against Sheffield United, he came on and brought us that bit more quality when it came to crossing the ball and set pieces as well. That obviously got us back in the game against Sheffield United. So to have that missing from the squad is definitely a blow, and hopefully he can still be kind of a presence in the dressing room to help with the young players. But obviously on the pitch he ain't going to be there, which is a massive shame. But I actually really think Bryan Hill can be an asset in what Postecoglou wants, because I think from what Postecoglou wants in their wingers, he wants them to be good one-on-one dribblers, and I definitely think Bryan Hill is that. I think we haven't seen the best of his dribbling ability since he's been in the Spurs shirt, because I don't think he's had too many opportunities to show it. But in the little opportunities he has to show it, I think he's shown quite impressive ability to dribble. So if he gets more and more opportunities to get on the ball and take people on, like I'm seeing our wingers do generally, then I am pretty excited about what Bryan Hill can do. The question is he going to be more suited to playing on the left or on the right in what Ange wants? I think, well, obviously, when he first came, he was more prominently on the left, and then Conte saw him more as a right winger, and that's where he saw most of his minutes under Conte. And also, he hasn't played at all under Ange, has he? He hasn't got any minutes because he's been injured. So I guess we have to wait and see where Ange sees him. But I think I would want to see him on the left because the reason why is because it gives us kind of two options on each side. So we have Solomon, who could be inverted, and Gil, who can go on the outside on the left. And then we have Kulusevski, who's inverted, and Brandon Johnson going on the outside on the right. So it makes us unpredictable on both sides. So that's what I kind of want to see Bryan Hill develop. And I think he can do it. And I think as well, he's got decent delivery. We haven't really seen the best of it in a Tottenham shirt, unfortunately. But I think he's got quality on his left foot as well. One of the big question marks is about his physicality. But I look at Solomon, I don't think he's like the most physical winger, and he seems to be doing okay. So why can't Bryan Hill as well do well? So I don't think he can maybe bring what Perisic brought, but he can definitely bring his own qualities. And I think that's an exciting prospect. And the thought of Bryan Hill finally being given a chance and getting to see him in an attacking system, which we haven't been able to see him yet, I think excites me for sure. And I'm really hopeful that Bryan Hill can finally live up to the potential that we all saw in him when we first signed him.
I will say about Perisic, I mean, I'm so thankful that his last game was like coming on in a hero's cameo against Sheffield United, as opposed to like Hugo Lloris's last game going off at half-time against Newcastle in a 6-1 defeat. So at least he's going out in style, Ivan Perisic. But my thoughts goes out to him because he was really starting to provide for us this season. It's just such a shame this had to happen at this point.